Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great Father's Day today. Today marks week 5, so let's walk around see what is new. First off, I found a lot of issues with my brassica bed. Apparently it is the season for butterfly moths and chickens getting in my garden. So I have been battling both of those pests. Yeah, I can still see you. Please get out. Please. Shoo shoo. Thank you. But anyways, so they are looking pretty rough right now. However, Brussels sprouts won't form until like August, so I have to keep these guys alive until then. I am just gonna keep fighting for them. Otherwise, I got a few more eggplants just to fill this place up. And my eggplants that I started from seed are definitely looking better than the store-bought ones. But now I don't have an empty spot here, so that's kind of cool. Broccolis are still coming around. I am leaving the big stalks up after I harvest the broccolis because it produces a ton of side shoots, so I can harvest these later. This is what I'm talking about right here. Right there. So I toss them on the ground and then chickens come around and eat them. And nasturtium is finally starting to grow and then chickens come around and eat it. So it all works out. Circle of life, guys. Then moving on to this bed, these tomatoes that I didn't have a heart to throw out are thriving. I believe these are both Floridade red tomatoes from M.I. Gardner. And I think that is a green zebra tomato from Breakers Creek. I'm not completely sure. But look, I got some pretty cute peppers coming along. These are mini bell peppers. They're supposed to be rainbow and super cute. And then I have some peppers over here as well. These are Buena Mulata peppers. Check these out. These are purple and tiny, and this whole plant is covered in blossoms, as you can see. All of them are. It is going to be amazing. The rest of these peppers are doing okay. They have suffered some greatly from the chickens. I think I'm gonna have to put up some kind of fence to not let them in, because I think once the tomatoes start coming in, it's just gonna be a feast for all for them. So I don't want that. But this row here and this row here, I don't quite remember what these peppers are because I need to work on my labeling. I think these are jalapenos or some sort of that kind of pepper, and they are just now starting to put on blossoms. So they're a little bit later than Buena Mulatas, but I have faith that they will come through. Moving on to this big tomato bed. Everyone is looking so good. Even the tomatoes that have been chewed down by the deer are coming back. As you can see, there's even some fruit that's been put on. I think these are solar flares. This is Black Beauty. I'm not sure what this one is, but they're coming in. They're coming in hot, and I love it. This nasturtium is taken off, and this basil is taken off. And then to this grow bag here, look at these potatoes. I stopped covering them up and it looks like they are growing. I'm so excited for some potato harvest. This trellis turned out super nice. My cucumbers are starting to finally climb on it. And so does the cucamelons. I am checking for the cucumbers every day. I'm very excited for them. And look at this. There is a funky baby cucumber here. It is shaped very weirdly, but I'm excited for it. There's always all kinds of spiders and critters hiding there. For example, this guy. So it's kind of a spooky town here, but it's great to see the ecosystem work together. And here are my cucamelons. Look at them. Look how cute they are. You're coming along. Oh yeah, and chickens were here, so that's nice. But I'm pretty sure I'll have enough to share with the chickens and have some for myself. Look how cute. Along with cucamelons, I have some zinnias that are coming up nicely. We are gonna have flowers soon. It's gonna be so pretty. I had extra eggplants and I thought it was one, but it turns out it was two of them, so I don't mind. And then here are my albino bell peppers. Really curious to see what comes of it. They are covered in blossoms and they are so pretty. So I am curious to see what kind of peppers will I get from these guys. If you watched my previous video about maintaining your garden, I mentioned that I snipped off all of the flowers from my strawberries. I know, pretty sad, but my strawberries have loved it. Let me show you. So if you remember last week, week 4, most of my strawberries kind of looked like this. And kind of sad and puny. I snipped off all of the flowers, all of them, except one, and it is this one. And that's because I kind of want to at least taste a strawberry this season, but the rest of them I snipped them off. And look at this, guys. The strawberries are absolutely loving it. They're putting all of their energy to kind of develop the roots, establish, and they're taking off. I'm so excited. And I am telling you, I've been pulling tomatoes from all over my garden like nobody's business. And I don't even know where they came from because this is my first time growing in these beds. So somebody's spreading the tomato seeds all around, but it's been so easy to pull up weeds with this mulch and it looks kind of cute and nice. Moving on to my greenest bed, and it is my cherry tomato bed. It is like a forest. I trim this every week and it seems like it doesn't even do anything to it. So let me show you the little baby tomatoes that I got here. Kind of planted different varieties throughout, but they are all cherry tomatoes except a few on this end because I ran out of them. And this rainbow cherry, I think, is going to be my first one that I will harvest from because look at these clusters of tomatoes. Amazing, every single one of them. And I don't know, I haven't struggled with pollination even though that these are so densely put together. I think me trimming them up on the upkeep is benefiting, but I'm so excited for all of this. Look at this. These are different ones. I don't know what they're called, but they're different and I am so excited for these too. These are Bosque Blue Bumblebee, and then they're yellow pears. So everything is coming along. I got tons and tons of blossoms. Sometimes I go through and kind of shake them. If your tomatoes are not forming fruit, one thing that could be causing that is a lack of pollination. And one thing that you can do to help it is just coming around and literally just booping them just like this. Tomato flower has both parts, male and female, so all it needs to do is just to vibrate in that pollen, and the female part, they just touch, and the tomato forms just like that. So one thing that you can do is just literally go through your tomato patch and shake your flowers. Another thing that could be happening is if it's too hot, your tomatoes will not form. So unfortunately, I can't control the weather, so I'll just sympathize with you. But just coming around and doing this to your tomato flowers should help your tomato production. One thing that I am concerned about is this tomato right here. This tomato from the beginning did not look great. This is atomic grape tomato, and it's one of those colorful ones. From the beginning, it kind of looked off, and I thought I'll just give it some time to recover because a lot of my tomatoes looked like that, and they all recovered. As you can see, none of them have leaf curl or anything like that. I mean, this one's struggling a little bit, but it's doing much better than this guy. This guy has always looked like this, and I think I need to pull it, but I don't know, I feel bad. I started him from seed and, put all that energy in it, but I think the best thing would be is just to pull this guy and maybe transplant that tomato from the pepper bed to over here so that tomato doesn't shade the peppers. But we'll see. I think I'm gonna give him one more week, and if it doesn't look any better, I'm just gonna pull this guy. Looking back behind me here is my zucchini bed. Again, if you watched my last video, you see how I take care of my zucchinis, my tomatoes, and just the whole entire garden. But let me show you how my zucchini has been doing since then. I trim my zucchinis pretty regularly, and I think they really appreciate it because I see blossoms, more and more blossoms every day. And I mean, look at this zucchini. It is coming along. I have so many fruit that has been put on. It is amazing. I am just so excited for the season of zucchinis. And the plants themselves look super healthy. I have 4 plants here. And then I have a few pumpkin plants. Yeah, I know this bed is very busy, but it's gonna be okay. I got, I think, another pumpkin plant here. Look at this. I need to again trim them. It's been like 3 days, and I need to upkeep this bed really regularly if I want any fruit, really. And then I got some watermelon vines coming around. Yeah, it's a little bit of a chaotic bed, but it's gonna be amazing. Okra is finally growing. I'm excited for some okra this year. So this bed is taken off. Some nasturtiums in the corners. Hopefully they take off as well, because that will be beautiful. Moving along to my shaded beds here. This one right here has my huckleberries, and finally the huckleberries are showing their face. I've never tried huckleberries, so if you have, let me know. These are the huckleberries over here, and I see some berries forming pretty nicely. Very excited for that. They are all over. Ecstatic. Then I have a few more watermelon plants here crawling around. These are some beets. A few beets that survived, and then I planted some more. And then I'm telling you guys, tomatoes are popping up all over my garden. This one I did not remove just because it was just kind of an empty spot. So I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna let it grow. And then I sowed some more beet seeds, and they're popping up. And I think I'm gonna, once I thin these, I don't like to throw them away. I'm just probably gonna plant them down this way. And my potatoes are coming up. Look at this. If you can remember, I planted I think 5 potatoes, because they're all coming up really nicely. I'm excited for this potato harvest because unlike my grow bag potatoes, I am not towering any soil over them. So I'm excited to see and curious to see if there's going to be a difference in yield or difference in harvest between the grow bag and just growing them in the ground. My bok choy's definitely seen better days. I do my best to come out here and pick out those caterpillars, but some of my bok choys look better than others. So we'll see how they taste and how they grow. These are definitely more delicate plants, so any kind of pest go nuts for them. Again, a few more zinnias, just adding beauty to the garden, and then a few more zucchini plants, I believe these are. These are some signs of powder mildew. It's a fungus of some sorts, but I'm hoping that they will recover. The catnip is finally taken off. And then moving on to my shaded bed where I planted most of my cold, hardy, shade-loving plants. Here is my lettuce. It's coming up super nicely. I'm gonna start harvesting this for some salads soon. My carrots are finally starting to pop up. As you remember, last time there were some footsteps here, and that's since then they have recovered. My spinach, my chickens love the spinach. They kind of went nuts for it. And then my arugula is going really, really good. Slugs and all sorts of animals like it, so it's seen some damage, but nonetheless, it's coming up real nicely. Again, some zinnias along the rows. As you can see, it's seen better days. Some radishes over here, and some Brussels sprout plants over here. I'm excited for those. My dwarf kale is coming up real nicely. My dinosaur leaf kale, not so much. kind of sparsely came through, so I'm still leaving that be. My oregano is coming up nicely. My petunias are doing good. I got some dill and parsley plants planted around here because I wanted to add some more herbs, and it's coming along really nicely. This dill is starting to flower, but I do not mind that one bit. The flowers taste just as good as the dill itself. I think dill is the only plant really that doesn't change the taste after it's flowered. I'm not sure. I've never had parsley flowered, so I guess I'll try that out. But my chives are starting to flower once again, so that's really exciting. Thank you so much for joining me again for week 5 of Garden Update, and I will see you next time. Bye.